Get this show on the road.
Are you here? Are you here? But are you like literally in the?
Yo, guys.
It
Is that your
teleported
car?
me. It sent me to the wrong server.
2 group managers will
Son
leave if
of a
I win.
Gun.
So
You know what?
Yeah, I give up.
Zovan
We're
likes that
starting at
idea.
7:30. We're starting at 7:30. 8:30 Eastern. I forget.
Jesus, man. I thought we
Y'all
were
live-
starting right now. I already took a bite of the crunch wrap.
Okay, let's get
Oh,
started
yeah.
right now. Let's get started right now.
Okay, we're doing it live. Okay.
We're doing it live.
Just cut to the thing. Put the mic on, and we'll just.
All right,
we'll
here we
just
go.
get it started.
Welcome to the FTN News Colorado Governor's Debate. I'm Great Jagers 113 alongside John of Doom.
Good evening.
Mango,
Welcome.
what's your name? Up here like this. I don't know.
Whatever you think's best. I'm not too sure.
I mean, it is a mukbang, right? Mukbang. How do I say it
Mocking.
without sounding racist?
Zovan would like to talk before we start, Mr. John.
Okay. Well.
Give him the floor for 30 seconds, please.
Yeah. I guess.
Seconds.
I guess
Sorry,
while we.
seconds.
30
I
seconds.
guess while we wait, but just 30 seconds, okay? Got it. Don't go crazy. And this is the only person I will invite tonight until the thing happens. Go ahead. You have 30 seconds.
Zovan.
So then
Yo.
you Austin, come on.
Okay,
now.
I had to fix my mic. Alright. So, I'm dying in the game. Okay, so, first of all, 10,000 Robux is my final offer, FTN. I'll let you consider 20. I'll do 15. I'll do 15,000, split equally among you. Anyway, Bob, are you sure it's in the public's best interest for you to be running where if Mango wins, we lose 2 group managers? That is huge. We don't need Cephal or Jetpack. Mango winning will be the single best thing to ever happen to this group, purely because they will resign because of it.
I've been calling
think
for them
about
to
this.
resign, just so you know.
What does that have
Think
to do
about
with
this,
me?
Bob.
I'm not dropping out.
You have to.
Okay, that was very productive.
Zovan,
Alright, see you.
thank you for your
Bye-bye.
time.
We will get back to
Vote
you
Mango.
on the merger thing. Anything else?
Zovan,
Because we
anything
really
else?
like to get the show on the road.
You said I had 30. I mean, I'd like to ask questions when it actually starts, but
There will be questions
when
at the
it
end.
started,
There will be
so...
questions towards the middle of the debate.
Yeah. Alright,
That
I'll
is pretty
wait.
much
You
when we
can
run out of questions.
Shh, John's
I'll
getting
mute.
mad. Can we
You
start?
can take me out.
I am not mad. I am just tired.
All right,
Yeah,
let's get this
yeah.
show on the road.
Well, thank you for coming along with us. Welcome to tonight's debate between Refresh Mingo and Bob Fogarty. The 2 candidates have agreed to come here. We have contacted the other candidates. However, they were unavailable to be here tonight.
Yeah,
The
kinda like
candidates
he was
have
unavailable
agreed.
2 weeks ago.
The candidates
Can I
have
just
agreed.
quickly, quickly,
I gotta
can we
set
stop
the
calling
rules.
them unavailable and just say that they declined? Thanks.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, I guess they've declined to come here. The rules are pretty simple. When I ask a question, each candidate will have 60 seconds to give their opinion, and for any rebuttals, you have 30 seconds to do so. I will time it to the best of my ability, and there will be a clock. I will say when your time is up. If your name is mentioned, if a candidate attacks you, and your name is mentioned, you have 30 seconds. You're allowed 30 seconds to respond. Is that clear?
Yeah.
By coin toss, Refresh Mango is allowed to go first with your opening statement. You have 60 seconds. Whenever you are ready, begin.
Alrighty. So, if you don't know me, I'm the current sheriff. You know, I've been in this community for quite a while, especially with Boulder. providing constant support in different areas of the government, especially recently by providing a new constitution, starting to bring people in from other communities and trying to build our community as a whole, and also trying to prevent others from destroying our community. For instance, if you guys look at news, there's 2 prime examples there. That's it.
Is that all?
Go ahead, Mr. Bob. Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
Bob, you have 60 seconds.
Thank you, FTN. Thank you, Mango. Thank you to the other candidates for clearly making this a 2-candidate race. My name is Bob. You don't know me. Former Supreme Court Justice, now former AG. I ran against Tim Culture. I lost to a black guy. Now I'm going against Mango. Somebody who thinks
I'm
he's
actually black.
Whatever. Running. Because Colorado's in a state of dysfunction. We've had a lot of people come in and try to ruin the state even more. I'm not one of them. Looking forward to a constructive dialogue. That's it.
All right, thank you. Jake, would you like to ask the first question?
I'll hand it over to you, actually, John, since I'm a gentleman.
Okay, then. Our first topic tonight will be on crime. As you know, crime has been a thing since this country's inception, but with the release of Boulder, it has just skyrocketed to new levels. Recent posts on the community news channel by FTN showed a couple of photos of a crime event going on outside the Dentsville courthouse. Actually, not the Dentsville courthouse, but somewhere around that area. As governor, how would you be able to tackle crime as a whole without, at the same time, however, not disrupting the gameplay aesthetics, if you know what I mean? Refresh Mango, we'll start with you.
Well, I've dealt with crime firsthand. I've had to write the affidavits for them. I've had to do search warrants. I run a department that deals with crime, also known as the sheriff's office. So I have an idea how to handle it. So first things first, I'm going to start with National Guard, the biggest portion. They're being abused, all right? Simply. They're being deployed for no reason, and when they are deployed, they don't have any purpose. They just go around shooting random people. First things first, establish a strategic forces command. They'll process op words, which will help put them in strategic points to prevent crime. So for instance, at checkpoints, at bridges, that'll stop criminals from moving around the county. Same thing with police departments. Put them in the right place, they'll help stop it. Because the criminals are moving around the whole county. And also, you need to put the right leaders in place. So, throughout my term, if I am elected, I'll put the right leaders in place. Bob,
you have a minute.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this is a very complicated issue, but I think, the moral of the argument here is, one, I don't think we can say that crime is necessarily a problem. We have had Boulder be more active than ever before with people going out committing crimes, but also with more officers out than ever before. Thanks to Sheriff Mango. I'm going to give him credit there. I think one thing that we can absolutely improve on, I will agree with Mango, we need a lot of reform to our National Guard, but that also means we need a lot of reform to all of our agencies in Boulder County. What that means is on my first day as governor, first thing I'm doing, signing that executive order to start community-oriented policing and transparency practices, including a community police review board, as I ran on in my first term. That's something that we can do to ensure that while crime is running rampant, we're not having corrupt officers like we've seen in recent times going out and keeping that crime going through illegal
Governor,
practices.
Not Governor, what am I on about? Bob, your time is up. Mango, would you like to respond at all? You could continue if you'd like, but you have like 10 seconds to wrap up your statement.
Oh. Wish you would have told me that before I took a bite. I was going to say, only other thing, removing prosecutorial discretion from the Attorney General's office, because that's one thing we've seen. We've seen the Attorney General picking and choosing cases to prosecute. That's not good. I will change that as governor.
Governor, that's time. At the same time, while crime is something that many people want dealt with,
I was muted.
It also brings activity to our community by having that gameplay aesthetic in. people just like to go in. They shooting up a bunch of
Mind
people.
if I say a statement regarding that, John?
Go ahead. Go ahead. You have like 10 seconds.
Well, like I
These
said,
are-
I've been trying to make our community bigger, and with that, that is inviting other members, criminal or not. But those criminals help feed our game. Those criminals also feed businesses, believe it or not. So yes, I still want criminals to have fun, but at the same time, you got to make it playable for other players, especially law-abiding players.
So how are you just gonna strike a balance between kind of keeping crime on a level while at the same time not disrupting the gameplay experience of Boulder County?
I'll be
Bob-
honest, a lot of
Bob gets to go first.
okay.
I was just going to say, I actually think that the argument that suddenly we have to make this a very leveled experience, this is something that we've tried to do in the current landscape of Boulder and something that's kind of failed a little bit, right? What we've seen is we've seen a lot of crime running rampant. We've seen a lot of corrupt officers. And listen, I'm a big fan of police immunity, but we've also seen the Colorado Attorney General's office for months on end refusing to prosecute criminals. What ends up happening there is the law enforcement officers that are building up the evidence start quitting. They start leaving. They start becoming inactive because of the fact that nobody's being held accountable. The police officer's job's not being done if they can't get a search warrant executed and if they can't have crimes be prosecuted. So I'll push a little back there and say, I think it's absolutely fair to want criminals to succeed 100%, but we also have to protect our police officers. And we that while crime is being committed and we're encouraging that crime, the Colorado Attorney General's office and the courts need
Bob,
to be
that's
holding
time.
people accountable as well.
That's time, but you cut off a little bit, so just 5 additional seconds because you cut off a bit on my end.
Good. That was it. That was the end
Okay.
of it.
Mango, you have 60 seconds.
What was the question again?
How would you strike a balance between crime and not ruining the tackling crime? Okay. How would you level between tackling crime and not disrupting the play experience in Boulder?
Well, I'll be honest. A lot of the criminals in this game, I've known them for quite a long time. Now, that's not a bad thing. A lot of people are going to think that's a bad thing. No. Those criminals know that other law-abiding citizens have their limits, and it would be pretty easy for me to communicate with them and tell them that there's limits. Like, if you're going to start random killing people that are just trying to have fun, there's going to be issues, starting to blow their cars. I've seen that happen before. It gets pretty annoying, pretty frustrating. But yes, at the same time, there's cops that are withholding evidence. Yes, there's people not doing their jobs. I know, as sheriff, I have the criminal investigation division under me. I've got about 4 cases right now that my CID is working on, and about 5 people per case, like warrants. We want warrants on them, but the thing is, DMs have removed bench warrants, so we can't do anything, and it gets frustrating. We can't discipline people, but there's limits. I agree. So overall, I would just communicate those limits.
Mango,
A lot of
that is
people would
time.
listen.
One of the ways on how to tackle crime is
Can I
by
get a
having
quick
more.
rebuttal?
You have 10 seconds.
Jesus, John, are we in a concentration camp here? My God. I was going to say quick rebuttal here. I mean, let's talk about where a lot of these abuses are coming from, right? I do think they come from a lack of training. And not to attack my candidate, but you do sit in the law enforcement training center and have those connections. So I'm just curious, like, why are officers suddenly becoming more rogue and committing more crimes, being more corrupt, withholding evidence and such? Why is that happening in the department that you lead, in the sheriff's office that you are running?
Can you
Mango,
give me,
you have
can you give me
26
examples,
seconds.
Mr. Bob?
You have 26 seconds because I counted a little bit over.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
Bob,
No,
can you give me a few examples? Go ahead.
I can absolutely give you an example. I remember when I was a district court judge, for the very little time that I was a district court judge, I do remember we had many conversations with officers that were coming to the court to try to get warrants on people, right? And they were continuing to ask for these warrants without getting us evidence, right? A lot of the time, what would end up happening was we would reach out to your staff in the sheriff's office and say, you have officers, you have deputies on the ground right now trying to get warrants for things that aren't even happening on the ground. They don't even know these people. They're getting vengeful warrants against people. This was something that was happening in the sheriff's office. We didn't take it to the news. We communicated it to your staff. I think that's a good example.
Okay,
Maybe.
so this was when you were a district court judge, correct? So I honestly don't recall anybody coming to sheriff's office about any evidence, asking for any evidence, nothing. Any warrants that we've obtained, we provided evidence. You can ask Tozic, you can ask Max, but Max isn't here, unfortunately. I know I've provided evidence to Hood for warrants. All my detectives have. There's evidence for everything. We keep track of everything in our CID Discord. So I don't know where that accusation is coming from.
It was a little bit less of an accusation and more of a question on.
You have 10 seconds remaining before I have to move on to the next question.
Nah, you're good.
Our sheriff's officers, as well as getting all of our departments together to stop these rogue officers from coming in, especially considering the influence you have over the law enforcement training center in your current role as sheriff.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't have any influence.
I get it.
That is time, gentlemen. We will move on for our next question. One of the ways to tackle crime is to have more officers patrolling on the beat. But there are only so many officers available and so many people taking FLETC. As governor, how would you recruit more people to the LEO ranks? Mango, I'll start with you.
Oh, that's my kind of question. Well, prime example, I had a lot of people come from Mayflower, Broadview, and Firestone come here and fill out the expedited form. And they're on their way and they're through the process right now. Because I know we lack peace officers and we need more of them, especially ones that have leadership skills and knowledge about law enforcement. Now, putting these people on the street would be a little difficult. I want to make sure they get more training. That training will come from departments, but it's up to the departments to do that. Now, if I get governor, you got to force the departments to do that, right? But overall, I've been working my ass off recruiting people from other communities to come join our community and help our law enforcement sector become better. Some prime examples would be 027Y, Spook Dan. Nathan, he came from another community. Bad example, I know, but he's got a lot of knowledge, man. Salty_9Z. There's a lot of people out there that came. I think that's bringing me up to 60 seconds.
You have 1 second, actually. Bob, you have your minute.
You know, I've got to kind of agree with Mango. He was actually going to he took a little bit of what I was going to say, which is that expedited certification processes in place. But I also think the other thing is the fact that, again, we really have to go back to the fact that currently, right now, in Boulder County, there really isn't any state infrastructure in play to protect our law enforcement officers, to ensure that our offices, whether that be the sheriff's office, are running smoothly through codified legislation, because the state assembly didn't do anything under the last session. So I think that's one thing that we can do, right? We can get a lot of legislation going. We can pass a lot of policies to make sure that our law enforcement officers are being protected and are being served at this point in time. You know, I think that's a pretty good place to start doing things, something at minimum, to make sure our law enforcement officers are protected. That includes qualified immunity.
That's well, you got 3 seconds left. Mango, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Bob, can you tell me about the Mapleton Police Department, please?
What do you want to know?
Who leads it right now?
Not sure. Do you know?
I don't know, man. It's in your campaign.
I'm going to be honest with you. You ready? 1, I don't think it exists yet, if I'm correct.
It does not and it won't.
2, right? 2, even if it did exist, I'm going to be honest with you, not sure if I would trust anybody from the current Tim Coulter administration to lead a police department in the next term in my administration. So frankly, right now, I'm
Don't blame ya. Do not blame ya.
At all? All right, then. This next question I'm going to hand over to my good buddy, Jake. Jake?
All right.
Get a question, darn it. I just want to remind you that everyone... Go ahead. I just want to remind you before we continue, everyone will have a chance to ask the candidates a question. We will let you know. It will probably be within 5 to 10 minutes.
Yo, sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
In 5 minutes, can we take a short recess so I can walk my dog?
We could take a short intermission. Jake, would you be okay with it?
Yes, I would. Anyways, another way to tackle crime is to prosecute the offenders. We have the Colorado Department of Law and the Department of Justice. As governor, how will you improve the DOL to ensure that the prosecutors have what they need to make it succeed?
Make it succeed.
Yeah, I
Bob,
stuttered
I'll
there a
start
little
with you.
bit.
You know,
Bob?
I'm very glad that this question is coming up because I'm the only person on this stage right now that has actually led a full prosecutorial team. I think right now, in its current form, as somebody that served as the special counsel for the Department of Justice when we were investigating the Department of Law for multiple corrupt and unethical activities, I think it is paramount to say that right now the Department of Law is not prepared and has not yet been prepared to actually prosecute a winning case. Almost every case that they've gone up against district court, they've almost faced multiple sanctions from courts.
Just to remind you, Bob, you disconnected.
Hello? Can you hear me?
You not, in the game. You're coming in perfectly fine here, but you.
Oh, don't worry about the game. We're doing this over Discord.
I
It's
was
fine.
idle for 20 minutes because I was talking here.
Don't worry about it.
I think it is incredibly important that we appoint somebody, not sure who it's going to be yet, but we appoint somebody into the Colorado Attorney General's office that actually has experience leading prosecutorial teams and somebody that is going to actually be effective and implementing a Department of Law that, while it is important to recruit attorneys, isn't recruiting bad attorneys that don't have the side of Coloradans as the mission of the Colorado Department of Law. I also think it's important that while we're making the Colorado Department of Law, we're ensuring that there's training and legal education programs in place, because currently, at this point in time, the Federal Bar Association hasn't proposed anything towards that either. That's something that we really need, and if we want to have a prosecutorial team that is able to grow for years, not just the next 4 months or the next 6 months, but for the next year, if we actually want for state.
That is time. Mango, you have 60 seconds. Hello?
I think he deafened to go walk the dog.
Okay, Bob, continue, and then we'll take a break.
I mean, yeah, I could quickly just address one thing really quick brought up from Toxicus. He said, I've not led a prosecutorial team in the last 5 months. Yeah, because I was an attorney general in the last 5 months. I was attorney general from December of 2022 to June of 2023. I was the 5th longest serving attorney general in NUSA history. I know how to run a prosecutorial team. I led a prosecutorial team before the court shut down. We prosecuted nearly 15 criminals. I think I know what I'm doing. And there's a reason that in other communities, I've been appointed to lead their Department of Justices and their Department of Laws and their Attorney General's offices. It's not because I don't know how to prosecute crimes and cases. I know how to do it right. And there's a reason that I have a 73% winning rate in the cases that I prosecute across all communities.
We're going to take a short intermission now. We'll be right back.
Well, anything else? Nothing interesting? Hello?
Oh, Mango. Mango is,
Is Mango still walking his dog?
yeah, I think he is.
Mango's watching the dog right now.
Oh, wow. Can you get off me? Well, we can't really have a debate if Mango's not here.
So we'll just take a short break. Commercial break.
Yeah, so we'll take a short break. We will come back with more of your questions. Actually, we're gonna have your questions after this because
Yo, I'm back.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Great
Wow.
timing.
Great
Alrighty.
timing. We're just about to go on break.
My entire response on the justice system.
Pardon?
Good job.
It's okay if I miss it.
We were just talking about the DOJ. That actually leads me to my next question. DOL and DOJ, their relations have not really been well during the past
No.
term. I should know this as
John,
Before-
if I may, are we not going to ask Mango the question about the Department of Law?
oh yeah. Did we not ask him?
No. Repeat it, please.
Okay, yeah, I will go ahead and repeat that. I'm very sorry. Another way to tackle crime is to prosecute the offenders. We have the Colorado Department of Law and the DOJ. As governor, how would you improve the DOL to ensure that the prosecutors have what they need to succeed? You have 60 seconds.
Give them motivation and an incentive to fucking do it. Because a lot of these guys are writing documents on a Lego game and they get bored of that shit. But at the same time, they want shit in game. So give them money. Give them money, they'll do it. Give them interesting cases, they'll do it. And that's exactly what DLO does. They do the most interesting cases out there. Now, everyone's shitting on DLO. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. They've done more than the DOJ. DOJ is good and a lot of skilled people there, but the DLL is constantly doing something. That's it.
With respect, John, I'm going to have to rebuke that one. I'm sorry. Number one, I heard the incentivization aspect being brought up. Listen, we can shit on Toxicus all day long, but the man does actually pay his attorneys in the Colorado Department of Law, and he doesn't pay him small wages either. He pays them good wages. So, I'll shit on Toxicus all day. I'll join that train, but let's not act like they're not being incentivized. That's not the way to lead a successful prosecutorial team.
Who's paying them?
When it comes to the Department of Justice, I don't think it is a good idea to say that the same
Let's ask
Department of
Toxic.
Law that was the same Department of Law that was investigated 3 times by the Department of Justice and by Congress for corruption. I don't think it's a good idea to say that they know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. They were led by a corrupt attorney general for several months that prosecuted vendetta crimes consistently. That's
But
not a good
didn't the
look.
DOJ do that as well?
Oh, they did not.
They definitely did. They
Wow.
definitely did.
They led fair and ethical special counsel investigations
No,
against
they
the
did
Department
not.
of Law. Oh, yes, they did. So, okay, if you're saying
Oh, sorry.
they did
I was
not,
thinking of
I'm
something.
just
No.
curious.
My apologies.
60 seconds
I was
left
thinking of
before we
something
move
else.
on to
Wait,
a similar topic.
I was to say, I was involved in those investigations. I will say they
Come
were
back to
very
Boulder.
fair and ethical investigations with much transparency.
Is that all?
But you said that Toxic paid his employees. He's denying that. I know for a fact I paid the 2 attorneys that work for BCSO that are also in the Department of Law. And I pay him a very generous amount.
Toxicus came out with employment opportunities, citing that he was going to be paying his attorney's wages before he was fired. Same goes with Hoodtact. Hoodtact actually pays his attorneys as well, as
Okay.
they both should.
Well, anyway,
I think these are great. I
overall,
don't know why
I'm
we
gonna
would
send-
ever doubt anyone.
I'm gonna give it an incentive. That's it. I'm gonna give him a reason.
Speaking of the DOJ, obviously, before I was interrupted, the DOL and DOJ haven't really had the best relations throughout the past term, and that kind of leads me to my next question: How would you repair that relationship, if possible, between the DOL and DOJ to ensure efficient prosecuting and criminal defense? I believe it was Mango who started first.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
How would you ensure better relations between the DOL and DOJ to ensure efficient prosecution of crimes and efficient defense of criminals before the court?
All right, who's
Of
answering
defenders.
first?
You're answering first.
Okay. Well, make them fucking work together. If they don't like it, they're gone. That's it. Make them
That's
work
all?
together. I'm gonna let my departments work with them. I know CID has offered help to Hoodtact for a very classified investigation, but a very high-profile investigation that was a joint operation with FBI CID. Now, I can't discuss the details, but CID works with them. I know DOL wants to work with them. Two individuals, which I will not name either, who are attorneys for the DOL, have also been involved with that. So there is relations. It's just not publicized.
Bob, you have 60 seconds.
I mean, I think it's important to actually bridge the miscommunication that's been happening for the past several months between the federal government and the state government. I think right now, what we see a lot of the time, and this is not only between the DOJ and the DOL, I think this is amongst all agencies functioning in Boulder, including the governor's office and all agencies on the national level, including the president's office. I think the issue that we're seeing consistently between state and FedGov is there's a lack of communication, and what comes out of communication? Dramatization and insanity, dysfunction, awfulness. We don't want that happening anymore. So the first thing that we're going to do when I get into office is the office of the state attorney is going to immediately establish the communications division, as has been done in the DOJ. This division is going to communicate with the DOJ as to what the DOL is doing. Not everything, but things that concern the United States. We're not going to have frivolous lawsuits suing the United States every 40 seconds because we
Bob,
want
that's
more
time.
cases on the level. Excuse me, I'm going to continue. And I think the other thing is, and this is the most important thing, we're going to communicate between the governor's office and the federal government consistently so that we can function further down the line without dysfunction. Thank you.
Mango, would you like to respond?
Hood, can you attest to the fact that there is a communications department? Feel free and ping me. Okay, you can. I just wanted to fact check that.
In the Colorado
Now,
State Attorney's offices.
The reason why there has been issues with federal government and municipal departments or state level departments working together is because there's no professional at the state level. Like there's no professionalism at the state level. Now, BCSO CID and FBI CID have been trying to work where they can, and it has been working. Now, that has also kind of contributed to, like I said, certain attorneys with the DOL. I can't say all of them, but it has happened. Now, I would like to make that a more larger aspect. But yes, I do agree with part of what you've said, Bob.
That all from you two?
Yeah. That's all
Jake?
from me. I don't know about.
Bob, anything you wanted to respond to that, or should we
I
move
just
on?
think the moral of the story behind this conversation about why there is dysfunction between DOJ and DOL is that lack of communication. And I think this is something that Mango and I both very sincerely agree on, that if either of us are elected governor, there needs to be more effective and pronounced communication between the
I
governor's
agree.
office and the president's office. Because
I
we can't
agree.
keep having these constant dramatic situations where one agency does something wrong and the other agency and the other whole branch of government goes on the attack and tries to literally secede governments from each other. We're not doing that, regardless of who gets elected next time.
And that will do it for our topic on crime. The next topic will be on the economy. And Jake, I will hand it to you for that one.
It should. Oh, no. Bob, who's first?
I believe. Okay.
I believe it should be a joint effort. Yes, I do believe that state should have a little bit of control considering it's their properties that they're giving up to these businesses. So I think the state should be responsible for vetting these businesses. Other than that, I think DOCAL should just be the one accepting them. But there should be a joint effort somewhere in the middle there. There's really not much more to say about that. Actually, yes, there is. Businesses. I know there's a few businesses in Mayflower that want to come over, but there's not a lot for them to do. They need more to do. Now, private security, for instance, that's a big one that has been brought up. There's no laws benefiting that. There needs to be business laws that support this. Now, the state assembly should not take control, especially if they don't have business laws in place. So until then, it should be DOCAL. But once there's business laws in place, there should be a joint effort between DOCAL and the state. Bob?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if my opponent knows this, but we do have something called the State Registrar's Office. And I know that the current governor hasn't basically done anything with the State Registrar's Office. He appointed Robbie Beespro for roughly, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, and then fired him. And then we never saw anything else from the State Registrar's Office. But I think what's really important is that, yes, we have this be a joint effort between Colorado and the federal government. I think what's also important, though, is that we actually have the state registrar's office working and leading that state administration aspect of things, right? One, that means that we have expedient business registration that communicates right through the Department of Commerce and Labor so that both people, whether that be the state registrar's office or the Secretary of Commerce and Labor, can function together, but they can also function with the same duties and the same responsibilities, equal responsibilities. I think the other thing, and I'm going to go over time on this, and I'm sorry.
Yes,
but
you
I
are.
think
You
the
have
other
4
thing-
seconds remaining.
we can establish the Colorado Pipeline Program, which I've spoken about many times before, even in my last run as governor, which would help individuals start as interns and progress to leadership roles. This is something that I think is going to be big if we want anybody to go to the private sector. And I also think, and this is, I think, an even more important aspect of, incentivizing business. I think we need to communicate to development, and we need to communicate to our teams here at NUSA generally, to ensure that the private sector is not just some place where, you have to start from your bootstraps and things like that. I think we should pay people so that they can pay their employees. I think we should have business opportunities, set your own wages, things like that. We can't expect people to open businesses when there's no point in opening a business when you could be making, $300 an hour or $300 every 10 minutes working for a public sector agency. It just doesn't make sense. So that's what I'll do.
Would you like to respond, Mango?
No, good points.
All right, Jake, you have the next question on the economy.
All right, we're going to continue. We're going to continue on that topic. Boulder County allows for businesses to have a premise in-game, but businesses are limited to what they can do roleplay-wise in-game. As Colorado governor, how would you grow businesses to ensure that they have what they need to thrive? We'll start with you,
Bob. Bob goes first.
Okay, we'll start with you, Bob, then.
I technically already answered the question beforehand, but I'll expand on it. I think that Colorado Pipeline Program that I kind of spoke about earlier is going to be a big incentive for our businesses here in Colorado. What that program will do is it'll connect people that aren't interested in working with the public sector, and hopefully if we get that incentivization to allow for businesses to pay their employees through state funds, what will end up happening is we'll have people applying to the Colorado Pipeline Program, and the Colorado Pipeline Program through the state registrar's office will connect them with businesses to jumpstart their careers up and running. This will be something that I think most business owners will be able to get behind because it means they won't have to start fresh in trying to find, employees. It'll connect employees to them to get them jobs, to get them going and growing through the ranks alongside other ones.
Okay, Mango, would you like to respond?
Make laws, man. There's no laws yet. There needs to be laws to support these businesses. For instance, I'll go back to my private security example. Private security companies need protection under law, or else there's going to be cops mistaking them and arresting them, which we don't want. Now, laws will help prevent that. But now, I want to ask Bob a question. Bob, are you going to actually see this through? Or are you going to abandon it like the Federal Bar Association, the Supreme Court of the United States, and the District Court? Are you going to abandon it like you abandoned all those?
I would love to answer the question. John, can I get like a minute and a half to answer that question? Because I think that's a multifaceted question that would really be loved to be answered right
How about
now.
45 seconds?
You have the 30
45
second
seconds.
response, but I can
Oh,
give
shit.
if Mango, you agree to give him 45 seconds?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you have 45 seconds. Go.
I think that's a great question. You know, when we talk about abandonment, okay, in none of the roles that I've served in, other than the district court, have I technically, quote unquote, abandoned my offices. In the Supreme Court, I was there for a month. I passed 29 amendments to the Supreme Court rules, and on top of that, I proposed 3 Supreme Court bar motions alongside proposing 2 opinions, one of them that made it into official rulings, okay? Number 2 point. As director of the Federal Bar Association, I got 78 people certified to be a practicing attorney in this state when at the time we had 0 when I came on as the director. Not only that, but when I came on as director, we didn't even have a federal bar examination because Stixa, who, by the way, Mango, just so we're clear, was one of the people coming from Mayflower who everyone has been trying to bring in to be the legal board of examiners and such. That was the guy that had made sure that the Federal Bar Association wasn't ruling at all. I don't like being told that I was abandoning
That's
positions
time.
when every position that I have served in thus far, I have made many strides to make them active, and I've made many strides to put in the necessary reforms to make sure that these chambers, to make sure that these associations are able to function in the best and smoothest ways possible. Do not insult my experience.
Can we not have candidates? Candidates, can we not do sound effects? I should have made
Yeah,
that a
no
rule.
sound effects.
Sorry, I fell asleep there.
Continue. Bob?
I think my statement stands for itself. I said, please do not insult my experiences in this community. When last I checked, Mingo, you've absolutely done an incredible job in ensuring that we have sheriff's officers. But again, going back to my last question that you did not answer, you have rogue officers on the ground. You have officers that aren't turning over evidence, as you admitted to yourself. Just curious, you know, when you end up leaving the
How
sheriff's
did I
office
admit it? I asked.
after serving as
Who
sheriff,
said
I'm
they came
curious.
to us? When did they come
You
come
said it
to us? Because
yourself.
no one came to us
Sheriff,
about officers
Mr.
withholding evidence.
Sheriff Mango, you said it yourself. You did say,
Oh,
you
what?
said that you had officers not turning over evidence to the courts. I didn't say it. You
What?
did. You said it in one of your first
I
answers in the debate.
think you misunderstood me.
I didn't. I very clearly
I'm
understood you. My
pretty
question
sure you
is
misunderstood
clear.
me.
How are you going to leave a system and an agency that you have worked in over the past 4 months and you've brought all these officers, yet corruption still stands as something that clearly has not been rooted out? You want to insult me and my experiences and say that I am abandoning agencies and associations? Please tell me why you're abandoning an agency that you clearly haven't even rooted out corruption in, even though you are the sole leader of it.
How's it corrupt? Where is the proof? Why isn't it reported?
Again,
No
said
one
it
is
during
reporting
this
it,
debate.
dude.
Candidates?
I have encouraged
You're
plenty
reporting
of
it.
people
Are
to
you serious?
report
You're
it.
not
No one
reporting
wants
it?
to
Scroll
report
up.
anything.
Excuse
No one
me.
wants to report it to
Excuse me.
Fletzy. No one's reporting
Scroll up.
anything.
Let's scroll up in the news chat room. How many
It wasn't
times
reported.
the Boulder County Sheriff's Officer is dropping ammunition for people? How many times is it being
Dropping
reported that the Boulder
ammunition?
County Sheriff's Office is rogue arresting people? It's
Rogue
not rocket
arresting?
science. It's called just look at the news channels. They have evidence
Jeez,
right
I
out
haven't
for
seen
you.
the rogue
And
arrest. I haven't seen the
9,
ammunition
Just
drop.
because
8,
the Department of Law
7,
isn't
6,
prosecuting it because you
5,
think that those
4.
prosecutors are good at their jobs does not mean that they are not corrupt.
That was pretty interesting, don't you think? Jake, you have
Just a
one more
little.
question on the economy. Mango, you get to go first.
Would you support?
Fuck yeah, that's a great
stock
fucking idea.
exchange?
Whoever came up with that idea, I will fully support that in whatever way I can.
But how would you implement it?
I have no idea how to implement it because it's not my idea.
But if it were to come in the, if the Colorado legislature would approve it, or if Congress would approve it, would you 100% support it?
Oh, 100%. It's a
Bob?
great idea.
I think it's a very interesting idea. I stand with Mango on that. I think this is an idea that would be extremely beneficial to Boulder. I think my only concern would be the possibility that people would apply for the staff exchange, and then lots of people would be leaving the agencies that we have here in Boulder County and would be going to federal government. But again, haven't seen the proposal. I'd love to review it. I'd love to see what it's got. If you proposed it, hit my line.
I have a follow-up question to that. Businesses often go inactive in this place. We've seen it happen several times in Boulder's history. So how would you deal with inactive businesses in Noosa? Not in Noosa, but in Boulder County. Bob, I believe, goes first.
Yeah. I think again, this kind of goes back to my point before. When we are giving the state registrar's office the roles and responsibilities of being the chief administrative officer of the state of Colorado, that means the administrator of the businesses that we have, jointly working hand in hand with the Secretary of Commerce and Labor. That person is going to have to launch investigations. They're going to have to launch processes into how businesses can function, what guidelines businesses are going to have to abide by when it comes to activity. I don't know what that looks like at this point in time because we have a state assembly that hasn't been doing their job for several months on end and hasn't proposed any legislation on this.
I agree.
I would be really interested to see, what the state registrar will do as the chief administrative officer, and hopefully if we get somebody in that office that is actually competent enough to fulfill those new roles and responsibilities, we'll succeed at it.
That's time. It's now time for our lightning round, where I ask a bunch of questions in lightning speed so that we can get to the big event where everyone else gets to ask questions. First one, state assembly. What would you do to improve it? The quality, at least. Why did I say that? But you get the general gist of the question. How would you, with an inactive state assembly, how would you get them back on track? Mango.
Force them to do their fucking job, and if they're in a state department, kick them out of the fucking state department, because if they're not going to focus on their main role, which is assembly, which is what the people elected them for, they don't deserve to be serving in a department that is ran by the state.
Bob.
So sanctions.
Bob.
Amazing question. I think the key to having an active state assembly is by ensuring that your influence as governor is being heard. That means making sure that the state assembly is electing a speaker that is not going to play political games like one of the last speakers. I'm not going to say who, Maxonimus. But I also think on top of that, it requires that you are playing the role essentially of the chief disciplinarian. You are telling the state assembly to do their jobs, and if they don't do their jobs, call in that special session that we're hoping to get in the Constitution.
I agree.
Next question. Fed Gov, State Gov relations. How would you improve it? Bob, go. Bob?
Oh, one more time. I didn't hear you.
Fed Gov, State Gov relations. How would you improve it?
I think the first thing to do is that we increase communication again between the federal government and the state government. I think, unfortunately, right now we have a governor that has very clearly put tensions at the forefront of progress, if that makes sense. I think one of the great things, I've talked to Mango about this in private, I think one of the great things that I present as a candidate for governor is the fact that I am good friends with many of the people in FedGov, and I'm good friends with many of the people in StateGov. I know how to bring people together. All you got to do is give me a chance.
Mango.
They want to buy land, I'll give them land. Give them more to do. Support them a lot more. So if that's by making laws to support them, giving them land to support them, but at the same time, I got to benefit the state. So I know there's talks and offers. I can't go into much discussion with that because I haven't been informed quite a lot. But I know they want some things, and I would gladly work with them on that, especially if it's giving them more involvement in the game, which is what they need. The federal government needs more involvement in the game, and with that will come communication between state and federal.
National Guard. How would you deal with the National Guard? Mango.
Well, first things first, establish a strategic forces command so we can get some op wards out there in an organization. Just tell you right now, it ain't organized, all right? There's quite a lot of criminals within the National Guard. I hate seeing them just fly around the county shooting random shit and trying to pull people over. Now, they're not immune to the law either. I've had my run-ins with them. But first things first, they need op boards to organize them. They need to be put in strategic points. So putting the right person in place to organize that.
Bob.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty complex issue, but one thing I will say is that we will, on my first day as the governor of the state of Colorado, we will increase their jurisdiction forcefully in the state of Colorado to make sure that their apparatus is able to function as strongly as possible. I think the other thing that we can do, absolutely, again, as Mango said, increase oversight and transparency to the Colorado National Guard so that when they're out there, they're not just running down, ramming down people and killing them. Making sure that we know why the National Guard is out, making sure that we are not just deploying them to do the duties of our law enforcement officers. Those things will probably help them get better.
What was the other thing I was supposed to ask? My mind just went blank. Okay, it is now time for the public to ask their questions. We will call you up, have your hands raised, and you'll get to ask a lot of questions, whatever that is. Let's see who's up right now. Zovane, you're live. What's your question to the candidates? And make it brief. All of you, just 1 or 2 questions.
This is a two-parter. I'm going to make an announcement first and then ask the question based on that. In 30 minutes, I will be introducing legislation to the Senate to seize the mountains in Boulder County via eminent domain for the federal government to create a park. How do you react to this? What is your opinion on this? What are you going to do about this? Are you going to stop me? No, you're not.
Any candidate can
My
just go.
question.
I was hoping to work with you guys, but all right. I mean, the only way this is gonna
what's
work.
up, guys? Whoa, what's going on?
Whoa,
Jesus,
hold on.
jeez.
Whoa,
Can I go
People
first?
at once. Hold on. Go ahead, Frosty. Go ahead.
Can I go
I'll
first?
after you.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go first. I'll go after you.
Wait,
me some
I raised my
awesome-
hand. This is so unfair.
Okay, well, you know what? We'll just keep.
Frosty's next. Frosty's next. All right. I want to work together on that, Zovan. I think it would have been ideal.
Okay.
And it would help build the relations. I mean, if you guys want to
I
take
think
it,
we can.
take it. But I think we should have talks over it. But I'm not in a position of power to do such. I mean, I have a little bit of influence with Tim to talk about it. But other than that, I think we just wait until the outcome of the election before you do such a thing.
Okay.
That's my take on it.
Bob.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same side. I mean, Zove and I've worked with you to create legislation before. I think you know that I'm competent at it. So I will say that's one of the first things is I would love to review the legislation before it's sent out to ensure that it is a fair piece of legislation. Number 2, GMs are supposedly launching the Colorado Park Service at some point. So I'd love to know how
I can
enforcement
confirm.
is planning on working on that, because at this point in time, the federal government doesn't have a park service. So if you're going to make a new park,
I'll confirm that for
who's
you, Bob. Yes, they are. They're working to do it.
And I think the other thing is I think that this should probably be something that is done in the next administration rather than in the first one, just considering it's such a transitionary time in Colorado. So
I agree.
Any more questions, Sylvain?
Yes.
Ask.
Mr. Bob Fogarty, when you were a Supreme Court justice, is it not true that you were involved in political activities? Why can I trust you as governor if you're willing to break the rules then?
okay, so no, it was not true that I launched political activities when I was in the Supreme Court. And 2, when I launched political activities, I was a member of the United States District Court. I know that it is hard for Australians and New Zealanders to know what is going on in the United States because you probably don't have a good understanding of the separation of branches. But it's a different court, different time, different activity.
Bob Fogarty is a racist. I yield.
Racism
true.
is a myth.
So true.
Sorry, what?
I just disconnected you.
Oh, another
Sorry
thing
about
from Zovan, actually. Cecil said he's going to resign if I win, so just have that in mind.
It's
Alright,
the
thank
audience.
you. I don't appreciate you for kicking me earlier. That was pretty rude.
We
Alright,
apologize.
so I have 2 questions. Alright? Sorry. And before I ask them, I just want to say, Jono and Bob, you guys are fucking nerds, all right? I just gotta point that out there. Anyways, my
His
first
name's
question.
Sean.
Can I speak? Can I speak? Thank you.
Let him speak.
Number one, so the National Guard, people who do recruitment, hiring a lot of criminals, man. A lot of known leaders of criminal organizations, known dealers, and known for committing crimes. Um, what are you guys gonna do about that? Like, a lot of M2M dealers out there.
Hey, we've had our success. I know I've been working my fucking ass off to catch a few dealers, and I have a pretty decent proven track record. If you go into the BCSO document spreadsheet, you'll see a few operations there. You'll also see some publications somewhere in the BCSO public announcements, but overall, giving resources to detectives to help get those M2Ms off the streets. So whether that is information, whether that is getting people to file tips, or even incentive, like giving money for tips, which I already do anyway. But there needs to be a reason to snitch.
Right. Well, I'm saying about the recruitment, hiring, I'm sorry to say this, but dumbasses and known criminals.
Bet them more. Like there
What?
needs to be like a lot more of
if the sheriff,
background to it.
If the sheriff isn't going to really answer the question, I'll answer it. I think number one, I think it's really funny that the sheriff of Boulder County, who literally has deputies going out and dealing M2s and guns to criminals, is saying that he's done a really good job at making sure that's not happening. Clearly, that's not true. Otherwise, it wouldn't be happening. It's being reported in the news almost every day. It's happening. Number two, as far as it goes with having dumbasses on CNG, I think it's really important to know that the reason that we have dumbasses is because of the fact that really no good process in place at this point in time to hire National Guardsmen. That is why, again, I have put up the aspect that we need to have some form of state administration put into play to ensure that when we're hiring people to come work in the public sector, that means when we're hiring people to come work with the Colorado National Guard, when we're hiring people to work with the Colorado State Attorney General's office, literally anywhere, we are vetting these individuals to make sure that they are not criminals, and we're also training these individuals to make sure that when they're on the field, they're not inexperienced and going to do these things again and again and again.
Saint the sardine. Saint the sardine. Sorry.
That's my answer.
That's your answer. Any more questions?
Yo, Bob, I'm surprised you know what an M2A is. Surprising how many times you've played the game. But what makes you think that BCSO has dealers in it? Like, I'm
What makes me
genuinely curious.
I really don't
I know the
how
news has
this
said that,
continues
but
to
there's
be
no
a question.
proof.
I genuinely love that this continues to be your leading question is how do I know? Because there's videos of it, Mango.
Oh, there's videos of my people
videos
dealing.
that
Go
come
ahead.
out every day.
Why is this not being
a quick-
reported?
Sorry, just a quick question for everybody in the audience. Can you please type the number 1 if you have heard of a deputy in the Boulder County Sheriff's Office dealing weapons to individuals in the state of Colorado? Do you know why people are going to say because it's happening? Mango.
Fuck, I ain't seeing a single one.
And also,
I've seen a lot of zeros. I saw one. Saw one.
You saw one.
Holy.
Now
I see
two.
a lot of zeros, 5s, 4s, 42s.
69.
Well, shit, that backfired. Well, next time you're gonna say something like that, make sure you got proof.
Okay, so I counted 3.
All up in the news channel.
Hey, all right, I got a question. So I want to know, like, as a CID sergeant of BCSO, I want to know who the dealers are, and how can you prove they are dealing?
How can I prove that? Is that a question for me? I'm assuming, Frosty.
Yeah, just to follow up, because you were
I can't
getting a lot.
that's bias.
I can tell you how I know that they're dealing. I can tell you how I know that they're dealing. I do happen to be friends with a lot more criminals than I think Mango's friends with, and I see it happening.
But can you name a few? As a law-abiding citizen talking to a CID sergeant, your tip line your tips can help me out a lot.
I
my
don't know, man.
sister.
No what?
But I also-
Yo, ask
lot
the
of
people that put
criminals.
a 1 in the
I think
chat.
it should probably be. I think it should probably be the responsibility of Boulder County Sheriff's Office.
Yo, put a
to
finger
know
down if you
whether or
lied.
not, whether or not for certain their officers and their deputies are giving out weapons. If you don't know for certain, you're probably not doing a good job in oversight. You should probably figure that out.
Yeah, but like you said, people are dealing. I asked for proof. You said ask everyone in chat. Apparently, 3 people put a 1.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, since you're friends with a lot of
I don't know.
criminals,
Like, I think you're bullshitting, man. I think you're trying to put on like a show to
I
get
don't,
votes
I don't know
now.
how I would be.
you know.
Listen, I mean,
Okay,
Mango,
but you know, you could give me some tips. Whoa,
Alright,
whoa, what's with
so-
that?
No, stop putting people up on stage.
You keep saying people are getting dealt, bro. I don't see anyone getting dealt, bro.
Okay, respect. Jesus,
Get them out
you
of
know,
here.
Oh wow.
Oh my. Next.
Okay, we're gonna actually we should do
Actually,
a
hold
super.
on. I have a question that came in through my DMs, and I'm gonna answer it. Let me find it.
What's the
Aiden Seafull is asking, ask Mango about his recent activity with assisting criminals and transporting them with tasers and other illegal items in Boulder County. Yeah, I'm sorry that guy had a taser. I'll take full blame for not searching him. My bad. I mean, there's nothing much to it. I'll take full blame for that.
Okay, we should do a mega debate.
Next question,
Who
please.
else wants to
AKA
join?
Cool Guy.
AKA Cool Guy, the president, wants to speak.
Oh wait,
Question?
I didn't realize we were letting people on the stage that were denying to participate in debates.
Hey,
So
I did not deny anything. Shut up.
Oh, no, sorry. I thought he said United GPT. My bad. Sorry.
Oh, why?
Okay.
Alright,
I have a
do
DM
it.
question from Hoodtact, who asks, quote, will you make sure incompetent attorneys like Toxicos get disbarred for multiple violations of the Code of Ethics, such as committing criminal actions like murder? And quote, his words, not mine. Anyone can take it.
Yeah, you know, I just really quickly, I do think it should be noted that I proposed 2 complaints against Toxicoust when he was, being a corrupt son of a bitch, and the same goes with _attorney. The same goes with Maxonimus. The same goes with KRDC, the current Colorado Solicitor General. So yes, I will make it a priority.
I think you're just mad that they're taking W's.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I haven't submitted any reports. I really can't. I have no evidence to submit reports. But if I were to be asked questions regarding it, I'll answer them truthfully. But no one's asked me questions regarding them, so I can't really answer that question.
Okay.
Yo, can we bring Nathaniel up on stage?
Nathaniel? Where is he?
Nathan, you mean?
Nathan, yeah.
I think I've been waiting to talk.
Yeah, but okay.
You're,
you know.
you're an
Go ahead
interesting
and
guy.
talk, please. Get your questions out of the way.
Oh no.
You know.
Personally, shut up. God.
Mr. President, are you having a stroke?
Someone get a
No.
medical professional on stage. Get Seafull up here.
Mr. President,
let me-
please
let
ask
me-
the question, please.
Okay. So I just want to know how you guys are gonna force leadership to be on all day with these active National Guardsmen. I'd like to go and know. Whoever said they were inactive, you're completely wrong.
Who said they were inactive?
Someone said that, and then Seafull called them out, and then I
I
called
don't
them
think
out.
anyone said they're inactive.
So
Don't
someone
think
said it.
anybody
I
I
don't know
actually,
who said it.
surprisingly, and you know, could really, if I wanted to, I could just low blow Mango and lie, but I genuinely don't think anybody called them inactive. I think we called them.
I think it was Gray
points corrupt.
Jakers. I'll go and say this right now. He's an op.
It was Jakers. It was Great Jakers. It probably was Jakers.
Leadership does not have to be on day. What you need
I know nothing.
foundation, you need policy, you need op regs, you need op words, you need organization, man, and it is not there.
I agree.
You don't need leadership on all day if you got organization. I'm
agree.
sure Bob's gonna answer the same way. I'm sure we can agree. Bob, say your take.
Yeah, no, I mean, we already talked about this topic earlier. I agree. I think National Guard is disorganized. I think, unfortunately, the National Guard really has no idea what they're doing at the moment. I don't think that requires for leadership to be on all day.
Moment.
Yeah, I
Let
just
me
think that
pull up
means
this
that we
clip
need
real
to
quick
have
that I got about the
national-
National Guard yesterday. I believe a deputy was involved, Alex Rain. Let me find it. Or someone.
Involved
It was
with
another
what?
deputy. False arrest.
Regarding?
On National Guard team. One
Yeah.
moment. I gotta find the clip.
If it's on National Guard team, that ain't my issue. I'm gonna be honest.
No, I mean, if they've been trained properly in advance, they would know what to arrest for.
It depends what your regulations do because that could persuade them otherwise. But I don't know what regulations you guys have. Pretty sure it's none, from what my understanding is. Considering I was at a hearing, and you guys had no process publicized.
We have a lot of process, but
I
it's
didn't
not
realize this
publicized.
was a debate between Mango
It's
and
for
AK.
National Guardsmen, which I don't believe you're even ranked
No.
in the server.
No.
I don't even think you're in the server to begin with.
No. Okay. Anyway, well,
Yeah, you're not in
Is that
either
all?
server, and you're questioning their high policies.
I
You're
asked
not
about him at a
JETC
hearing, and you
server.
guys said there was none.
Oh, hey, Bob. Hi.
All right. Is that it, AK?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Well,
All right,
it appears
Nathan.
that it appears the president is a little bit acoustic. Clearly, I have about 2 to 3 questions for each of you. Since the last president's a little bit dumb, obviously we need one of you to replace. The first question I'd like to address is: there's been rumors and talks of racism or minorities getting cheated out of positions. What steps, if any, would you guys take to prevent racism or minorities getting cheated out of positions, ranks, etc.?
What's
That's
racism?
lucky.
I don't see
I
color,
am a
pal.
proud. Can I take that? I think this is a good question for Bob.
Yeah.
I am a proud man. I love people. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're Mexican.
Oh wow.
I don't care if you're Asian. I'm dating an
There's a
Asian.
bomb in the newsroom.
I think the true reality is currently at this time, I think there is racial discrimination. And I think how we stop that, when I was director of the Federal Bar Association, I put in many regulations to ensure that discrimination and racist actions weren't being tolerated. And as governor, I'll do the same in the governor's office and in all of Colorado's public agencies. Thank you. I'm Bob, and I approve this message.
Okay.
That's a great answer from a minority. Good stuff, Bob.
Do you have an answer? Refresh me, go.
I said I don't see color.
Oh, that's even better, honestly. All right, next question. This is a
You're
question
limited
for
on
Bob.
2.
Just 2? Okay, that's fine.
I just have some breaking news before we go on.
Oh,
Rummy, it's gone. But the news was Rummy Rocks is a full-blown GM now.
Oh my.
Go ahead, take it away. Continue.
Wow, I did not see that coming. Next question is for Bob Faggerty. Okay. Earlier in this debate, you were talking about people getting dealt BCSO deputies with weapons, etc. I actually worked as a investigations liaison for the BCSO CID, and I can attest that I've not seen any BCSO deputies dealing or anything of the sort. So I'd like to know where you got these claims from or where you have this evidence, because you keep saying it's in the news, but you won't really name a specific example or video, etc. And you're also saying M2As, like BCSO is the only agency with M2As. Like there's not 2 other departments that have
3,
those
4,
weapons.
4.
Yeah, okay. I yield.
That full statement from earlier. It is with great pleasure that we announce probationary group manager Rummy Marocks has now been moved to a full-time group manager with the assent and blessing of Paul JKL. We hope you'll join us in congratulating this individual on his well-earned, prestigious new role as he takes on the next step following a stellar career service to the community. Okay, is that all, Nathan? Is that all you have to ask?
Okay.
You're limited to 2 questions.
Gotcha. I do have one more, but it's just like a
ask it.
And my second question is, Bob, I think it's very important for all of us to know, and this may have a really good impact on the election. What kind of pizza were you eating earlier?
I was not eating pizza. I was actually eating a Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco Bell. It had, in case anybody was wondering what was inside of it,
Gotcha.
I did a Crunchwrap Supreme with light tomatoes, extra nacho cheese because I love the nacho cheese. I did beef. I did cheese. And then I also, on top of that, and this is important, everybody, I added in nacho fries because if you add in nacho fries, it gives it that little potatoey, spicy. Pretty good. Recommend it.
And what beverage, if you don't want me asking?
Baja Blast. Yeah,
Baja-
I saw him doing
little,
Baja Blast.
with a little tiny tint of vodka put in it.
Oh, so you took vodka before the debate. Does it like calm your nerves down? I mean, this is a really
That's
important
exactly
like,
what he fucking said.
Mango and I had spoken before this, and I told him, you never want to go into debate like this sober because you'll never get an idea.
I respect that actually.
I agree. That was fun.
That's enough.
Fair idea.
Thank
Alright,
you.
Spook Dan.
Let's go to Spook Dan. You are live as soon as I unmute you. There you are. Speak. Speak.
Unfortunately, your mic sounds like
fixing
you're
it.
currently
He's fixing
running
it.
into a
He's
dishwasher.
fixing it.
Uh,
He's fixing it.
he's fixing. I swear.
All right, bring Frosty back up. He's got his hand up.
Okay.
Hey, I'm back. What's up, guys?
Hey, man.
What's up?
Hey, girl.
So my second question, Bob Fogarty. So you mentioned trying to build up the Mapleton. Oh, did he disconnect? Buttery fingers? Maybe from that pizza?
It's not a pizza. It's a Crunchwrap
And he's back. I'm sorry.
Supreme.
Sorry, what was it? Crunchwrap Supreme?
It is a Crunchwrap Supreme. Yes.
Okay.
Very
You
important.
mentioned bringing up the Mapleton City Police Department, if I'm correct.
Well, it doesn't exist, so.
Well, I'm saying, that was in your campaign, no?
That's in the campaign Discord. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So
I
why
think,
do we
I
need?
think one clear distinction made. If you actually were to scroll down, and I know it's hard for you guys because you don't actually look, but if you scroll down and you look at when it was last edited, my platform that's in my Discord server is from when I first ran for governor. And on top of that, not only is it from when I first ran for governor, but because I've lost Discord Nitro, my 1,236 character platform cannot be edited unless I go in and I like divide it up. So I just haven't edited it. But it is literally the exact same platform that I used when I ran for governor.
Oh, okay. So you weren't planning on
Oh, is this connected?
creating this
No,
department, were
I
you?
wasn't planning on Ableton Police Department, no.
A little better
Okay,
prepared
okay.
next time, wouldn't
And,
you say, Bob?
When Colorado launched, I think this is a pretty clear distinction that should probably be made. When Colorado was launched, a key thing that was being discussed was whether or not Dentsville PD and Mapleton PD were going to be a thing. It turned out that Dentsville PD was the thing and Mapleton wasn't, only because of the fact that Mapleton is such a small, like, little suburb, or as I call it, a ghetto. So yeah, but there's your distinction.
Okay. To you, Mango. So you plan on building up the Colorado State Patrol, I believe. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So like, what are your plans on doing that? Like, how do you
mean?
plan
What
on
do you wanna
doing
know?
it? Like, how do you plan on setting it up? Is there gonna be? Has there already been developer support?
I can't answer the developer question.
Oh, okay.
But well, first of all, it has to be established in law. But with the new constitution that was proposed about 2 weeks back, 2 or 3 weeks back, it's on there. Open interest forms for it. But I stated in my manifesto, I don't want departments doing the same thing as other departments. So, for instance, BCSO does criminal investigations. State police is not going to have an investigations. They're going to do highway stuff, executive protection, state events, state visits. That's what their job's going to be. They have the same jurisdiction as BCSO, but the goal is for state police to be different from other departments. The way I'm going to do that is by...
Whoa, okay, we've just been attacked.
By establishing it in law. All right, but we need an active assembly to do that. So.
Okay.
Two people are dead at the FTN studio. Refresh Mingo is dead.
Alright, well, okay, please quiet down. We don't care, alright, respectfully. Back to you, Bob. So I want to get back onto the dealing question. You claim DCSO deputies are.
Before I've addressed
Can
this
I
question
finish
like
my
3 times
Can I
now.
finish my question, please?
I mean, you
I haven't
can. You're gonna get the
answered.
same
I
answer everybody
haven't
else has
fully
gotten.
said my question.
Get to the point, Frosty. Come on.
Alright, so can you provide me with the evidence of supposedly BCSO deputies dealing, please, as you claim?
Yeah, I could if I could have some time to gather it.
I mean, you say you had a lot more criminal friends that deal, correct?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
have many.
so as a legal citizen, shouldn't you be
I think-
reporting that?
You know what I think?
And somebody
Frosty?
that's running for governor.
Hey,
Yep, go
Are
ahead.
you gonna? I think you should probably be letting people answer questions if you're gonna pose them.
Oh yeah,
Just
I'm
saying.
sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, you're fine. I think something that probably is good is that we actually have a governor in place. It's not mad about being friends with criminals, especially considering if we didn't have criminals, we probably wouldn't have an active game right now. Number 2, to answer your question about why haven't I been putting in tips? Because and maybe everybody's been missing this. I know Mango again said that he thought that the Colorado Department of Law was doing pretty well under the corrupt attorneys that were inside of it. But let me make it clear. I really don't think it's a good idea to report things to a agency such as the Boulder County Sheriff's Office when we already know that all that's going to come out of that is it's going to go to the Colorado Department of Law, and the Department of Law is going to refuse to prosecute as they were doing for several months on numbers and numbers of cases. I have no
Where else
interest
is
in
it gonna
playing
go?
back and forth in political mind games with a Department of Law that's not going to do their job. I think that's a pretty fair case to make.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Bob. That answer just tells me you don't play Boulder enough. I'm sorry. Like you don't pay attention to Boulder
I don't see
enough.
how
So
that
I
makes
thought
any
we
sense
would just
to me, though.
apply for search warrants to get rid of those PGE.
And that's exactly what we
I
do.
mean, oh shit. I mean, I
Bingo.
guess.
And then we
Bingo.
arrest them.
I like how
mean,
you
okay.
clearly did not understand my answer at all whatsoever. I love it. I
Well,
genuinely
if you
enjoy
were
it.
informed, you would know shit is done about this. But you're not informed,
Yeah,
dude.
that's so interesting. So what you're saying is what I'm hearing from you, right? Is saying, okay, so if I were, let's get this right. If I were to report tips to the Boulder County Sheriff's Office, do you think for some reason in your mind that the Boulder County Sheriff's Office is going to prosecute criminal police officers? No, it goes to the Colorado Department of Law. That is how prosecution works. I know, again, you didn't have much to say on the question about what we were going to do to put good prosecutorial systems in to the state of Colorado to make sure that people are being held accountable for their crimes, but that's how that process works. So, again, I'll stick back with my original point. I'm not going to waste my time reporting tips when we already knew that the Colorado Department of Law was corrupt and we're going to continue being corrupt. The fact also is that I think it's really ridiculous, Mango, that you yourself, as a leader in Boulder County, didn't put pressure on the governor to get a new attorney general to stop reprehension into reporting tips because the Colorado Department of Law is so inactive and was so corrupt. So please do not attack me when, again, you stood idly by while the Colorado Department of Law was engaging in their corrupt activities, refusing to prosecute criminals in the state. Please.
Okay,
Try
so
again.
you're saying I stood by, but you also stood by. A whole bunch of other people stood by.
Did not.
Everybody who
I
didn't say
sure did
anything
not.
stood by.
You
Even
are
people who
so
said
blatantly
something
wrong,
stood
And
by.
I'm so happy you brought
No,
this
no,
up,
that's what
Mango,
I'm gathering
because
from
you
you,
are
dude.
so wrong.
Like you're
You know
telling
what's
me
so
I'm not
funny,
doing my
Mango?
job.
You wanna
You're
know
telling me
what's
I
so
haven't
funny?
done anything.
Oh,
I
wait,
actually
Dude,
didn't
do I need to
say
pull up
that.
every
Can we
search warrant
calm
receipt that
down?
I've done? Every
I
arrest
think
I've
that
done?
we could bring
Every
up almost
investigation
every
I've done? Do
get
I
to
need to
other
bring it up?
questions. We have to get to other
we could
questions.
Like,
bring up
dude, you can't
everything
even
that
serve a
Department
full
of Law,
term
we
for
could get
anything,
everything
dude.
that went through
Gentlemen,
DOJ.
gentlemen,
I was the
Jesus.
biggest force of opposition against the Department of Law for months on end, including when I was in the state assembly. Not
And Bob,
only that,
I
but
hate to
you
break it to
coming
you,
out and
but you
trying to
failed.
act as though I was sitting idly
But
by.
you
Last
failed,
time I
Bob. You
checked, I
failed. All right, you
sued the
didn't
state of
succeed.
Colorado
You were proven
several times to
wrong.
prevent the Colorado Department of
gentlemen,
Law from doing what they were
gentlemen.
doing. So
If
do
you
not try
succeeded
to
with
act
that,
like
you
I
would have
wasn't
been
doing
proven
anything.
right,
Jonah,
but
let
you
them fight.
didn't.
Jonah, let them fight.
He's so for real.
No! What is this? What are you trying to censor him?
Kidding, I guess continue.
Jeez.
I'm kind of doing two things at once, studying for the final, and the other one doing it. But if y'all want to continue, go ahead. But just who muted it?
Bring up Spook. Spook's been waiting. Jix has been waiting.
Okay.
Alright, goodbye. Bob, you
Okay.
stink.
Jix, why don't you come on?
Hello.
Hi, Jix. Hello.
So I've been watching the selection for a little bit. I am fairly new to Nissa, but
Hello, welcome.
hello. But from what I understand, both these candidates are very high profile. If I could get a little bit of background on each candidate, given by each candidate himself, that would help me pick a better decision.
Mango, do you want to go first? Or should I?
Sorry, can you repeat that, please? Just the last bit of the question. Can you repeat that?
Yeah,
I think he's
so-
trying to go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I get a bit of the background of each of the candidate?
Basic background information
Yeah,
about each
sure.
of you.
I'm the current sheriff. I've been here since the start of the county. I did take a short leave, about 3 months, but I've been here since the start. I've always been trying to make the community bigger and grow. That's really about it with me. Bob, go ahead, bud.
To answer the question from Urkel, I am a former Supreme Court justice, fifth longest serving attorney general in the country's history. Very briefly, former district court judge. Served in the state assembly before I was almost rooted out and expelled by an absolutely corrupt and insane man that was ended up being blacklisted. I ran for governor in the last election against Tim Coulter. I'm now rerunning this time. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty basic. Former director of the Bar Association.
Well, based on that information, you both have very extensive resumes, if you will, or experience on the platform. Have either of you lost your virginity yet?
Fuck bitches, get money, man.
Well, I am a proud homosexual, and let me tell you, baby, I'm a whore.
Please don't tell
Can we get
us.
a dub in the chat for whores? Can we get
Please
this?
don't
was that
tell us,
needed?
dude.
Was that
Exit your
needed?
live.
That
Good
was
evening.
not
State
needed,
of
dog.
Games.
We don't need details.
I have a question, guys.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Like, it's a two person question. So could you drag Cream, please?
Yeah, drag Cream SM. Drag him.
Damn, how many people we got up here?
Ah, damn. Oh my god. Oh, Gaiatus. Yo, bring up Cream. Cream, accept it.
Where's Cream?
All right, this is why the Broncos are ass.
Yo.
Sorry,
Could you get Spooked in here too? Because he's leading BCSO. Sorry.
Oh my.
Damn, are we gonna get the entire department up here?
Yes, it's just a joint question.
You can ask it on behalf of the department.
Well,
I will
I'm a
be here
deputy,
all
so I
night,
don't represent the
but-
department as well.
I'm kind of going in and out.
Cream, would you like to fucking talk, please?
All right. Magic, complete the question before I turn into Patrick Mahomes at the last game.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Do not knock the Kansas City Chiefs here. I'm a proud Kansas City.
No, I'm not. I said I was going to turn into Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, so since Cream couldn't speak, I will speak now. So, as a member of the BCSO, how would you as the governor, defend us in the court of law?
He ain't gonna defend you.
Go
ahead, Bob.
okay, I can answer the question. Police immunity. I think that's the first step we can go to. I think I know Mango here, hasn't actually instructed or tried to work with the state assembly to get any legislation out to protect law enforcement officers, but I actually was the only one thus far in the state assembly when I was there to now that has proposed any legislation to protect state employees from prosecution for doing their jobs, and that includes our police officers. So we'll start there. making sure the police officers aren't being prosecuted purely on the basis of the fact that they're trying to do their jobs. That's a great way to start.
Cream SM is asking to join up for the second part of the question.
Who?
Please invite him up. Cream SM or cream_SM. Did you bring him up? He's asking to join for the second part of the question.
Cream, could you just like repeatedly press the call up button?
Cream, hit the button.
So I can like see you.
Cream, hit
There you
the
go.
hand.
There we go.
So,
I see it.
can you bring up Magic again, please? I don't know why you clicked on.
Oh my god.
Hello. So I have a question.
Wrong one.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I'll just mute. You guys can go.
Yeah. I will go ahead and mute you, and you can.
Yep. Sounds good with me.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you bring up Magic?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Can someone
I
just
love
give me
the
mod? I'll
chaos.
fucking do it, dude. Pissing me off. Taking forever.
I love that they invite people up and then they remove them and then they invite the other guy up.
That's crazy.
too
Okay, so
good.
who was it supposed to be again?
Magic.
Magic.
Magic
Fucking
is
BBA.
Cream.
He's got fucking Edgar in his profile picture.
The one with the basketball.
Yeah, that guy, the guy with the basketball head, and then bring up cream_SM. Why did you bring him down?
Hello.
Oh my god.
You have to dudes listen to it, John.
Oh
What's
my
going on?
All right, nigga, just
I
bring up
don't know
magic,
what's
bro.
going
It's
on.
not that deep. Please. Okay.
Aiden.
Alright, there we go. Alright, go ahead, gents.
Can you
Oh
bring
my
up
god,
Magic?
you brought him
Magic.
down again,
Bring
bro.
magic. Bring magic.
Magic, put your fucking hand up.
Okay. This guy's fucking autistic as shit, dude.
Did you
Just
not bring
fucking
him
like.
down?
He's a fucking mouth foamer, man.
Can you please bring magic up?
Sorry, that was directed at Magic.
Okay, Jet.
Alright,
Hello.
just ask the question.
Just ask. the
I
question.
need Magic up here. Like Magic.
It's a
Alright, we
joint
need to bring
question.
up we need to bring up Travis Kelsey up here.
Nathan, how's the call center?
Oh.
God. Oh my god. Jetpack.
Are we
left.
coming up here now?
He left. He's scared. That was a good
Who's next?
debate, honestly. I would just like to say congratulations to all the candidates involved. It was an excellent debate.
It was
So long
not. It was
going.
a terrible debate.
Yo, Jet, you make a steak right now?
God awful.
I'm making steak right now. No.
Andrew, this is actually
We'll
no
make me
worse than the way you said.
Alright,
4K
so I
versus
actually have a
4K.
genuine question. Alright, so this is in regards to CPD. So currently CPD has 22 members. Hold on.
Haven't you already
Excluding- hold
asked
on.
questions?
Can I ask again? Alright, thank you. So they have around 18, I believe. And they have so many units. They have emergency services unit, they have a criminal investigations unit, they have concealed identity and traffic enforcement, whatever the fuck that means. And
Yeah,
they
they
have
need to be
something
neutered.
called
What the fuck is
community-oriented
that?
policing unit. They have more supervisors than and patrol officers. Like, what are you guys gonna do about that?
Okay, well, yes, I agree.
Please go
Way too
first.
many fucking.
Right, so I think we should
Way
fire all the
too
black
many
people.
fucking
All the black
units.
people should be fired.
Way too many units. But I agree. No department should be doing the same fucking thing.
Who's hosting this? Who's hosting it?
Who is accepting?
Dude, the entire audience.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Hello.
Yo, can someone play ear rape, please?
All right. Anyway, yeah, too many units in CPD. I don't know how that happened. I was against it. I could tell you that much. There definitely needs to be legislation in place to prevent that, because, like I stated in my manifesto, no department should be doing the same things. And I made a prime example out of Colorado State Patrol and BCSO, the difference between the two.
I didn't even realize you had a manifesto yet.
Yeah, I know, man.
Just so you're aware, BCSO is going to be made into a group management entity run by CFOL
Oh my
next term.
god.
Fine by me, man.
Can I ask my question now?
I'll be looking for an undersheriff very shortly.
Seafull, shut the fuck up. It's my turn. Bro, I swear to God, I've been kicked from the stage like 10 times. Sitting here patiently waiting my turn.
Go ahead,
Yes,
guy.
that's
Oh my god, bring him up!
Oh no.
Jetpack, I know where you live. Keep that in mind. Anyways,
Oh
whoa,
shit,
whoa.
Jay, he's coming to
Would
your
you
fucking
rather
house tonight, dude. He's gonna
a
dick
gay
you
son
down.
or a thought daughter?
I want to bring up.
None.
For both of you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Would you rather a gay son or a thought daughter?
Disowned.
No, you have to pick one.
Who should we bring up? There's one.
I
There's a
say neither
person
'cause
that's
I don't
been
want
waiting a
kids.
while.
No,
I
Mike,
prefer
you
not
haven't
to
answered my
answer.
question yet. No, you have to answer.
I'll answer.
Please.
Okay. Thought daughter then.
Sainted Birding. Is he still on here? Is
Bob,
Sainted
what was your
still on
answer?
here?
You're never gonna guess this one. I'd actually not like either because I hate children. And if I had either
See,
of them,
I'm the same way, but you gotta
So you're
pick, Bob.
indecisive, and we shouldn't
We have
elect
to
you as
pick.
governor
I
because you can't
absolutely
make
have to pick.
decisions.
Oh shit, he got you there, Bob.
Thought
Bob,
daughter.
pick!
Thought
Pick.
daughter.
Alright, good stuff. Me and Bob are on the same page. Thought daughter. Now, Bob, we're gonna disown that daughter, right?
Of course.
Good stuff.
This
The
is
minute
conflicting.
after it comes out. Disown it.
Fuck that kid.
Yeah, fuck them kids.
Fuck him.
Fuck them.
Fuck him.
See, guys,
All
Research
right.
Mango and I agree on more than you think.
Yeah, I mean, we'll shit on each other, but I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Me and
We hate
Bob do
children.
not. Yeah. But we do not hate each other behind the scenes. We'll.
No, never, never. I don't hate Mango. I
I
just
don't
hate
hate
his
Bob.
existence, not him specifically.
Yeah, there you go. Same way. Just like I hate something that starts with L, ends in a Q. I'm sorry, what?
This debate will be moved to lounge shortly, but before we do,
What?
closing statements. Yeah,
Oh.
because obviously.
Okay, yeah, closing statements. If you want Seafull to resign, vote me. And I know a lot of people don't like him, so have fun.
Bob?
If you want a state that starts with a C and doesn't end with unt, then support Bob. Thank you.
I like that one.
Next debate will be hopefully soon with the sheriff candidates. In the meantime, go to lounge for everyone here. I'm John Azum. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.